been written about the Duchess of Sussex in recent months, from speculation on her relationships with other members of the royal family to endless discussion of how much she cradles her baby bump. Now even her accent has become a topic of debate. When clips of Californian-born Meghan speaking are shared online, the same suggestion often pops up: has she adopted a British accent? Some speech experts say they can hear a change, but others are not convinced. There does seem to be something in the idea that Meghan Markle's speech has changed a bit, at least in some settings, said phonetics and pronunciation specialist Dr Geoff Lindsey. There are occasional vowels which sound a bit more British, he said, while conceding it was tricky to make absolute statements. One example is her more British pronunciation of the word all when she met crowds in Cheshire in June 2018.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hi, it's nice to meet you. My name's Aya. Aya? I've been a fan of you for so long. What's that? I watched you for so long. Oh, did you? Yeah. You designed it, so it's very nice. And you look gorgeous. Oh, thank you. That's nice of you to say. What's your name? Sarah. Sarah, yeah. It's nice to meet you. Thank you. Yes, we all had a great day, I think. I'm sure you did. The sun was shining for us. Yeah, absolutely glorious day. Oh, very lucky all around. Like today almost, yes? Yeah, no rain at the moment. I'm glad you've come now.
Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Congratulations.
There's a lot of superstar. It's so pretty.
Compared to her pronunciation of the same word in her and Prince Harry's engagement interview in 2017, he said. But the differences are subtle, said Dr. Lindsey. And Dr. Lindsey, an honorary linguistics lecturer at University College London, added that her intonation is more British than American when asking the yes/no question. Did you make that for us? In a clip from Birkenhead in January 2019.
I missed a happy birthday that was happening here. Meghan's birthday. It's your birthday. And this is Harry. Oh my gosh, really? Meghan and Harry. Very own Harry and Meghan. That's really sweet.
Hi, Meghan.
That's so nice. Oh my goodness, amazing. That's what a nice sign. Did you make that for us? Thank you.
You make sure to spell your name correctly.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for waiting on
I was going to do MEG because I was the only.
Marissa Brooke, assistant professor in linguistics at the University of Toronto, said the Duchess has developed a style that sounds very English aristocratic for interacting with the public. Among the examples she highlighted was the Duchess saying "I do appreciate that" in the same clip from Birkenhead, above, in January 2019. The vowel in that is further back in the mouth than you would expect for American English, said Ms. Brooke, suggesting it could be a consequence of living in southern England. Ms. Brooke, who has studied accent changes in high-profile figures, said, "I think a lot of it is deliberate on her part. She's developed a style to be used when directly talking with the British public. These are the situations where people might be judging her in public instantly, where it really benefits her to sound British and aristocratic. If it's conscious, I don't think it makes her manipulative, or a poser or anything," said Ms. Brooke, who attributes any change to the Duchess's unique position. "She's someone who's very offbeat from those who usually join the royal family. It makes a lot of sense. It's not that she is changing who she is. It's like she's changing how she dresses. It's like an extremely fancy outfit. I would call it a reasonable resource for her to draw on, given how unlikely her change in circumstances, and how dramatic. Weird if she spoke like the Queen." Phonetics professor Jane Setter, from the University of Reading, agrees there is some difference in the Duchess's vowel pronunciation in public since her move to the UK, but it's not huge. Professor Setter said the crowds will make a difference because of something called accommodation, which is when people adapt their speech, consciously or unconsciously, to the people they are talking to. "We all do this to some extent, speak differently with different people," said Professor Setter. In a social role like the one Meghan is now in, where she has to meet lots of people and basically make a good impression on them in a short space of time, the ability to do this is very useful. But it would be weird to take this too far. I don't think British people would accept her if she suddenly started sounding like she was in the cast of EastEnders, or spoke like the Queen. She is who she is, and it's important that she is genuine. Speech is part of that. Accents can reflect various things about people, said sociolinguist Dr. Ella Jeffries, from the University of Essex, not only our background, but also our affiliations and aspirations. And for someone like the Duchess, whose success may depend on trying to fit in, accent changes can happen naturally and fast. Lots of different factors play a role in who accommodates, how they accommodate and why, said Dr. Jeffries. Someone who has a strong affiliation with the region they grew up in and is very proud of their heritage, for example, might not change the way they speak much, even if they move to another part of the country, or even abroad. However, someone with lots at stake in trying to fit in or sound like they belong to a new in-group, British royalty, in the case of Meghan, might find accommodation happens quite naturally and quite quickly. Could her background in acting play a role in how easily her accent might change? Certainly any potential accent coaching she has had will have made her more aware of the differences, and potentially better at mimicking them, said Dr. Jeffries. But on the other hand, maybe she therefore has better control of her accent than others, and if she decides she wants to, might stay staunchly American sounding. But overall, Dr. Jeffries said she did not hear much evidence of the Duchess sounding more British. And Professor Paul Kurzweil, a sociolinguist from the University of York, is even less convinced, saying there really isn't much to go on. Meghan is pretty consistent in her accent. Whether acting a FedEx girl in 2011, or a lawyer in Suits the same year, he said. In the interview with Harry, the same thing applies. The only point where I felt there was some received pronunciation creeping in was in the word roasting, where the vowel is central and not back. The Duchess of Sussex has shown her support for a campaign by black academics and students that aims to decolonize university curriculum in the UK, it has emerged. It is Meghan's first apparently political intervention since she became part of the royal family, marrying Prince Harry last May. The movement aims to confront the legacies of the empire and racism on campuses and promotes black and female thinkers instead of male, pale and stale ones. It has now emerged that, during her January visit at City, University of London, in Islington, Meghan encouraged scholars to open up the conversation about curriculum in our universities and also reacted with shock at figures showing the misrepresentation of ethnicity in professor positions in universities. The campaign she is backing has been a controversial movement since students took to the streets of Oxford in 2016 in an effort to have the statue of Cecil Rhodes, the 19th-century colonialist and slave owner, removed from one of Oxford University's colleges. It followed a similar #RhodesMustFall movement in South Africa, which succeeded in having a statue of Rhodes removed from the University of Cape Town. In January, in her new role as patron of the Association of Commonwealth Universities, ACU, international organization, the Duchess expressed her surprise at the shockingly low figures of diversity in UK professors. Upon being handed a sheet of data showing that UK professors are overwhelmingly white men, the Duchess reportedly said, "Oh my God." Dr. Rachel Cowan, who supports ethnic minority and female staff at Manchester University, said, "She was really surprised. She was like, oh my God, really, we need to get a photograph of this." The Duchess also reportedly turned to her private secretary Amy Pickering and asked her to take a picture of the data relating to 2016-17. Meghan said universities should open a debate in a bid to avoid continuing with the Daily Road because sometimes that approach can be really antiquated and needs an update. Research from Advance He revealed 68% of UK professors were white males, 23% white female, 6.5% black and minority ethnic, BME, male and 2% BME female. Meera Sabaratnam, leading the Working Party to decolonize the curriculum at SOAS, University of London and whose data inspired Meghan's "Oh my God" comment, agreed that change is long overdue. She told the Sunday Times, "Many of the issues around racial equality are similar and it is great to see her embrace this. Change is long overdue." The reaction of the Duchess to the lack of diversity among scholars may be due in part to her upbringing and her impactful and pivotal experience in university in the US. African American authors are widely studied in U.S. universities, and statistics on the ethnic profiles of students and staff are published on university websites. Meera Sabaratnam said U.S. universities have a legacy of affirmative action. Meghan graduated from Northwestern University, Illinois, with a joint Bachelor of Arts degrees in Theatre and International Relations in 2003. In October, the Duchess was praised for giving a powerful speech on feminism and women's suffrage in New Zealand on 125th anniversary of women achieving the right to vote in the country. In her last display of political concern, Meghan spoke about economic and social development and the rights of women in developing countries. She said, "Everyone should be afforded the opportunity to receive the education they want, but more importantly the education they have the right to receive. And for women and girls in developing countries, this is vital. Providing them with access to education is the key to economic and social development."